All right. Good morning. Thank you, Mike, for coming on.
Good morning, Joseph.
It's another episode of Monday Morning Quarterback. Full disclosure, before we go on, I would like to apologize ahead of time. If there's any drilling or any noise that might interrupt or interfere, it's only because they're doing work on my boiler. They've been doing it since Saturday. They were supposed to be done yesterday. So hopefully, because it's literally below my feet downstairs in the basement. So hopefully it will not disrupt the stream and we will have a noise-free or semi-noise-free stream. And also, before we start, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the like button, please. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And also, click the notification bell if you'd like to be reminded of our weekly Monday Morning Quarterback show, which is generally held.
I actually do appreciate that you go into that now without me telling you every week.
I'm trying. I'm trying at the start. All right, let's go into it. I mean, look at if you can see the background behind me and Mike, you can see there's a jet. I mean, I don't know if you can make it out, but there is a Jet fan with the bag over his head with the words "Fire Gase," which I believe is on the mind of every Jet fan. Mike and myself aren't Jet fans, but we can relate somewhat to wanting to fire a coach, especially after being 0-10. They were officially eliminated from playoff contention.
I think stepping on the field week one, they're automatically eliminated from contention in the playoffs.
Usually the Jets and Mets are usually eliminated from opening day. So, but yeah, so they played the Chargers yesterday. Chargers. First of all, I thought this was going to be a blowout, to be honest with you. But the problem is, and we've said this, the Chargers defense and their special teams. Jesus Christ. How bad is that special teams? I mean, you have a block punt, a missed, what was it? Not a missed field goal. What other issues do they have? No, like a false start, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a false start.
A false start on a extra point or a field goal miss, something like that. I forgot what it was, but how bad is that? And then to allow, what was it? What was the final score? 28 points scored by the Jets. I mean, look, you gotta say one thing about the Jets. Their points are trending upwards. So, they're scoring. First of all, there's a lot of firsts that happened during this game. So Herbert has now 6 completions with 50 or more yards, right? And he leads the league. The Jets lead the league with 10 roughing the passer penalties. And then you have first touchdown by a tight end this season. And what was the other first? I forgot. Was it Gore's first touch? Yeah, and it was
Gore's first touchdown,
first rushing TD of the season as well. So there was a few firsts this game. But look, Herbert, he did what we knew he was going to do.
I'm good. My theory when I told you 3 to 5 years, if the Chargers don't draft in the first 3 rounds this coming draft defense,
which
they have to draft all defense in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want to see, like, if I'm a Charger fan, if I was, I don't want to see any offensive drafts at all. I don't want to see a quarterback drafted. I don't want to see a running back or wide receiver or anything. I want to see the first 3 drafts, 2 linebackers, and somebody to play in the secondary.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
They need to fill up on the defense for this kid to be some. Like I said, he's going to be something, but he needs to have something to work with on the opposite side of the ball to keep him from not. He keeps going out there and he has to keep throwing bombs after bombs after bombs for touchdowns because when the defense comes back on, they're always going after him.
Hey, Starspeed, thank you for once again coming on and commenting and watching. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Morning, Jedi. Let's see.
Well, and speaking of Herbert, like you said, he's going to be something special. And he already I forgot to mention as well, he has the rookie record now. 5 games with at least 3 touchdowns. That's the NFL rookie record. So he's got 5 games already with at least 3 touchdowns. And I believe he also passed for his 21st. What was it? His 21st touchdown of the season.
Yep.
Right. I think the first touchdown of the game was his 20th. So yeah, so that means he finished with 21. So he's got 21 now on the season, and he's a rookie.
Yep. But hey, drink.
It's water.
I know. Still.
Well, let's get off the Chargers for 1 second, because we know the Chargers' offense is good. We know their defense gives up points, not on a Seattle level, but they give up points. They give up. Their secondary's got a lot of holes.
Right.
But
we're getting back on the Jets.
What about the Jets? And look, again, they did score 28 points. They actually came within 6. They missed 2 extra points too. Don't forget. So they probably they should have had at least 30. They should have had at least 30 points. And
yeah, well, they missed 2 extra points.
Yeah, exactly.
And Frank Gore already said in an interview after the game about going 0-16. He said, "I'm not going out like that."
I don't think they want to.
I'm wondering if Frank Gore's even. I wonder if Frank Gore's even thinking about retiring after this year, because if he says, "I'm not going out like 0-16," it sounds like you're at the end of the road over there.
Well, and they showed this on the what was it? No, I don't think they showed it online. On TV. I think I saw it online when I was just doing some research. When you're a running back, you're the oldest running back in the league, and you're the only active running back, right? The only active running back that's older than Thursday Night Football.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, to put it in context, though, no, that sounds old, but Thursday Night Football started in 2006. Frank Gore came in the league in 2005. So it's by a year, and it's 15 years he's been in the league, which is a very, very long time for a running back. Without looking anything up, the only other running back I can think of that's been in the league is AP. Exactly. I'm sure there's another one. There has to be, but AP.
Well, I think there's got to be another one. But I think AP and Gore, are like the oldest in the league right now for running backs. You're right.
Yeah.
But but you're saying all this, and then he said, "I'm not going out on 16," and then you're looking at the date today. It's November 23rd, and Gase is still the head coach of the Jets,
and they still have yet to have a win. That's bad.
It's pathetic.
And you can't even say they're doing it purposely now, because they're not. I don't think they are. And like you said, I don't think it's just Frank Gore. It's one thing to want to have the first pick, but it's also another. It's just it's a pride thing. Do you really want to go winless in a season? Like it's not something that you want in the record.
It's not an honor that you want to have. Like we talk about. When New England won 16-0.
Yeah.
Granted, okay, they weren't, 18-1. Big blue.
Yeah.
But to go the whole season 16-0 is a feat that you want to say, hey, we went the whole season 16-0 and almost won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But do you want to say, oh, we finished 0-16?
No, and no team does. No team does. But I'll tell you one thing. The way Tua played yesterday, I think the Jets might have a chance this week. I was thinking the same thing, and we'll get into that when we talk about the upcoming games. But I'm going to do it a little differently this week with the upcoming games. But yeah, and as I said, they did score 28 points. Flacco had a 49-yard bomb. He, and we all knew Flacco has an arm. We do, and I didn't know he had.
I'll tell you one thing with the situation now in Cincinnati. That might be a good performance tape to show that Flacco can still be a starting quarterback for another team.
Yeah, but are you saying Darnold's going to get his job back in New York?
Of course, under a different coach. I would say keep Darnold another year to see how he plays under a new head coach.
Yeah, all right. And then Flacco gets shipped off to KC. Well, not KC, Cincinnati. Who came in for Burrow?
Finley, and
that's right, and that was horrible.
And he got eaten alive.
They did. They did. To lose to Washington like that.
I mean, we
Yeah.
were talking last week about the Giants having a rough time playing Cincinnati next week, and now I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun.
So so you think. But let's talk about that when that comes, because again, there's it's easy to say, well, on paper, oh, all right, well, here we go. Look, we crowned Miami already to beat, to beat the Broncos. We thought it was going to be easy. The Broncos ended up winning, and there's so many games that we can sit and say, well, it's got to be this. Teddy Bridgewater's out. Panthers are going with another quarterback. Oh, the Lions definitely got this. The Lions get fucking shut out for the first time since 2009.
I'll tell you one thing, though. That PJ Walker did not impress me. I don't care if he won 20-0. He still
He wasn't for a debut.
Matthew Stafford just sucked last.
Yeah, then that is true. Matthew Stafford was horrible. I think he fit 178 yards or something like that. Anyway, I don't even know it written down. I'm just trying to remember what I saw on the screen. It was a modest debut. You had a touchdown, big deal. You also had 2 picks. It is what it is. You're playing the Lions. You're playing the Lions. So, but again, we're skipping ahead a little bit, but there's only so much we can talk about the Jets. Look, they did show fight. When I actually messaged you in the beginning of the game, very prematurely, it was actually right before they missed the extra point. I was like, all right, Jets block a punt. They just scored 7 points on a Pirine run, whatever his name. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Pirine. Yeah, Pirine. They get the 5-yard run from Pirine after the block punt. Miss extra point. They go up 6-0. But then they get the pick 6 on Flacco's first pass of the game. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe I spoke a little too soon. And then the Chargers just like built another, what was it? At one point they were up, 24-6 at half. The Jets actually came back second half. Totally different game.
They did, but still, they.
So either way.
Like I said, Herbert is something special. They need to draft defense, and
they do.
I personally believe that they have to draft,
and they wouldn't hurt them. It wouldn't hurt them.
Have to be defense.
It wouldn't hurt them to get maybe one little extra target for him. Nothing against Keenan Allen. Obviously Keenan Allen's one of his main targets, and he's got another one I can't think of right now on the top of my head that's big, but maybe one other target. And also, too, who's their running back?
On which team?
Who's the running back for the Chargers? Is that Balaj?
Give me one moment.
Is that the game that had the guy named Balaj? It was one of the games I was watching, and the name was Balaj.
Hold on.
I just have nothing written.
I'm pulling up the site right now.
Yeah, I have nothing written down as far as that because I really didn't want to go too much into stats. This was just more like conversational pieces. I just have Herbert finished with 366, 3 touchdowns. I believe he had 1 interception. I think he had 1 interception.
Kalen Balaj is
okay.
The running back.
So that's what I'm saying. Like Balaj didn't have a bad game. He did what he had to do, but I don't know I don't know if that's their starting running back because I never heard of him. And we've been covering the Chargers and the other teams for the whole year so far.
There is 2 P rings out there.
Two P brains.
Yeah, I don't know. They might be related because you got LaMichael Pirine, the running back for
the Jets. Yeah.
And then on Cincinnati, there's another Pirine.
All right.
I don't know if they're related or not.
2 Pirines don't make a right. All right?
Yeah, but the third one gets you back on the highway.
Okay. So let's go into quick week 11 headlines and let me know what you think. I'm going to name the headlines and and then we'll talk about it briefly and we'll do whatever. Now, the top headline would be the Steelers still perfect. 10-0. They win convincingly. It was the only game that was it was the only game on paper that we can say, okay, that's what we expected. 27-3 against the lowly Jags, right? And Ben, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had the 1 interception. Not his greatest game, but they still did what they had to do. He spread it out. Claypool becomes not the first rookie,
I'm
but
smiling because you know what? Because
Claypool
me
still
like that.
has one touchdown for his first 10 games as a rookie. He's got at least a touchdown in every single game this year so far. So that's another thing to say about Claypool and the Steelers. But anyway, that's really all I have. There's not much to say about this game other than total dominance by the Steelers. They win 27-3, and again, they went against a rookie quarterback in Luton. They went against a reeling, just going the opposite way in the Jaguars team. So I mean, that's what we would expect. That's the game you have to win, especially if you want to solidify yourself as an undefeated team.
I'm giving Roethlisberger a new nickname,
What is it?
the Maestro,
Yeah, he is a maestro
because he is. I'll tell. Look,
he orchestrated it well. He did.
who decides who gets the MVP? Is it the sports writers? Or
I
is it
think
a fan poll?
No, I don't think it's up to the fans. I think it's up to the sports
Thank
writers.
God.
And a few of them yesterday said that they still have Aaron Rodgers up there, if not Mahomes.
After yesterday, no.
Well, Mahomes led his team to a game-winning victory, so
that's fine. He's still. It's still the horse race that I want.
yeah.
It's Mahomes and Roethlisberger. Ben is going this way. Aaron is going that way.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Other news. We were just talking about it briefly. The game. Joe Burrow goes out, season-ending injury, torn ACL, in his loss to a team that we needed them to beat in Washington. So they're Washington wins 20-9, and it was a shellacking. Alex Smith has been, since he's come back, since the what do you call it? The Redskins have no other choice with their quarterbacking injuries and whatever. But Burrow goes down, and you said Finley comes in, and it's just there was nothing the Bengals could do.
No, there was no. I mean,
they couldn't move the ball.
The Giants defense is going to eat this guy for lunch.
I hope so. And that's pretty much it. But that's too bad for that kid because he was showing promise on a team that really wasn't doing well. He was probably the only bright spot. Besides Mixon, I do like their running back Mixon. I believe it's Mixon is their running back. I think he's another one that's good. But whatever. Next headline is the Saints, and we didn't see this coming. You and I. Now James picked the Saints, I think, but you and I thought Atlanta because Atlanta seemed like they were starting to get hot. Matt Ryan was finding himself. We at first thought it was going to be Jameis Winston that was going to start. Then they pulled they threw a curveball a few days ago and said, "Oh no, Taysom Hill's going to be the start." We talked about that on Friday. So we're like, all right, now with Taysom Hill, I think a better option than Jameis. I mean, who isn't? But he never took a snap after snap after snap after snap. He was a special package, like you said. Mm-hmm. He only came in for specialty plays. So we didn't know what was going to happen and what he was going to do. He proved us wrong. Now he wasn't the best. I think he threw for 233? Yeah.
Yeah, 233 with I think 2 touchdowns. 2
rushing touchdowns. Nothing in the air. He ran for about 51 yards. Both touchdowns were on the ground. But their defense
had a rushing touchdown too.
Right, and it was their defense, 8 total sacks. I mean, they crushed the Falcons.
Yep. And
this defense
one of the funniest plays in that game, I actually cracked up a little bit when I watched it, was who was the fucking they were playing? Wait a second. So Ryan throws a pass. Christian Blake was the target.
Okay.
Jack Rabbit comes over. Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah, I know.
Jack Rabbit tries to stop the play. And at the same time, Christian Blake thought that Jack Rabbit might have had possession of the ball.
Okay.
He grabbed Jack Rabbit by the back of his hair and tugged him back.
Jesus.
No holding was called on it because it's the hair, it ain't the uniform. I never saw anybody get pulled by the back of their hair.
It's something that can happen. It's very likely. I don't know why they continue to.
it's a new trend now that they all want to grow their hair out. I mean,
Yeah,
that could cause maybe a rule change where you can't pull hair. I mean,
hey, there he is.
hey, look who's up.
Oh, Keza Deach. Keza Deach.
0-10. How you doing, Jimmy?
Oh, and also too, because you talked about what do you call it? Kamara. He becomes the first running back in NFL history for in his first 4 seasons to get to join up the 500 club. 500 yards rushing, 500 yards receiving in his first 4 seasons.
Didn't he get his 50th career touchdown
I don't know what I think he did. I think he did what was that last week or was it this week?
I think it was this week he did it.
That's the only thing that came up as far as stats.
You know, they actually mentioned, and you know, we keep talking about Ben and we keep talking about Patrick.
Yeah.
You know, some people actually mentioned Alvin Kamara and the MVP running along with Derrick Henry. And we keep forgetting that because we're looking at, you know, quarterbacks, but Derrick Henry is already up to 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah, no. Look, I get it. It's way easier to discuss quarterbacks, and it's generally the case. Quarterbacks for some reason are always, because they're usually the captain of the team, they're the leader of the offense. But look, when you look at an overall picture, and you look at an overall, what is the most valuable piece? Sometimes you got to think of MVP as the most valuable piece as well. And what is the most valuable piece of that team? And right now, as it stands, the common denominator has to be Alvin Kamara.
Right.
So when you look at it overall, you know, and Derrick Henry as well for the Titans, but when you look at it overall, I wouldn't see why they're not into the conversation. I would argue that maybe even over Big Ben right now at this point.
All right, now you're going too far.
Oh, they can't be over Big Ben, but they can. It doesn't make any sense.
Ben said it too yesterday. He goes, I'm not going for perfection, I'm going for a Lombardi. And he's right when he said that too.
And he should be. He should be.
You know what though? In the back of that mind of his, he's going, damn, 16-0 sounds damn good right now.
It does sound good, but look, what should be your priority? What should be any team's priority, any coach's priority, any player's priority? Does 16-0 sound fine? Yes, it does. But again, you said it earlier, and look what happened to the Patriots. They got it. They got the 16-0, but they couldn't capitalize when it counted, and that was in the Super Bowl. So what would you rather? 14-2 season, 13-3, 15-1, and win a Super Bowl, or to go 16-0 only to get disappointed at the end and hit a wall, or even not even make it?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, though. But you know, like
not even saying you're going to the Super Bowl. What if you get eliminated first round? Well, not first round. You get the bye. You know what I mean? The first game.
And honestly, we see that done already. Atlanta's done that plenty of times.
Yeah,
where they were like the 13-3 or 14-2 and being the second team with the bye week. You know, with the bye week, and just as soon as they play their first game, they lose. I mean, we've seen it done before. I mean, it's not uncommon.
No, it's not. It isn't uncommon. Look, it happens to it can happen to any team, in any sport. In any sport, you got the best record never translates to an automatic championship. Look back to what was it? 01 or not 2000. When did Seattle the Seattle Mariners break the or have like the all-time record of most wins in a season or something like that? And I think they ended up losing in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think off the top of my head. I'm saying 2001. I think it was 2001, but they went nowhere. They didn't win a championship. So the best record doesn't usually mean a championship. And New York Giants can attest to that. They went into the playoffs 9-7 one year, and they ended up winning. You know. Hey, Jacob. Thanks for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving as well, too. So, next headline. We talked about it briefly because you mentioned Tua. Broncos stunned the Dolphins. Who saw that coming? They benched Tua in the fourth quarter because he just and look, they brought in Fitz. And look what
If
happened.
you know what, if I was Fitz, I would have just sat there, looked at Brian Flores, and go, "Fuck you, play your boy."
They had an opportunity to tie the game, and Fitz, I believe, threw an interception in the end
Interception.
zone. In the
No,
end
but you
zone.
know what?
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was Fitz, I would have just told the coach, "You know what? You want to bench me and play your boy? Go play your boy now."
What did Tua finish with? 83 yards? 84 yards? I know he
How
was
many?
sacked 6 times. That's another thing too. He's a young kid. That can get in any quarterback's head, let alone a rookie. He was sacked 6 times. I mean, where's your offensive line? Why aren't they?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, all joking aside, if he goes in next week with that fucking mindset,
Yeah. Do you think he starts next week, or do you think they go with Fitz?
well, Flores already said he's starting his boy, so
Okay.
That's his boy.
Yeah, I know, but still.
And Fitz should have gave him. Honestly, Fitz should have gave him the fucking bird and said, "Nope, not coming in.
Yeah.
Fire me, suspend me, whatever you want to do. Release me. I don't give a shit."
Now, the Broncos, don't get me wrong, the Broncos have played good teams, very tough. They've actually won a couple that we didn't expect they were going to. Didn't they beat the Patriots? Or one of the games that they won was against the Patriots, right?
All right. So wait. So you wanted his numbers, right?
Yeah, what was it, 83 yards?
11
84?
for 20, 83 yards, 6
80.
sacks for a loss of 33 yards with 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
But
83
no
yards.
interception.
The touchdown was that was the first score of the game, the touchdown. That was in the very beginning of the game.
Yeah. And then Fitz went 12 of 18 for 117 with an interception.
Yeah, which was the last play of the game. So, whatever. James said, yeah, that was they beat the Patriots. So the Broncos have beat good teams that we didn't think they were supposed to. I just felt the Dolphins, they had won 5 in a row. I really thought they were a hotter team, even though they switched. I just didn't understand it. They switched their rookie quarterback over Fitzpatrick, who's been really good so far this season. Also, I failed to mention briefly before that the Saints have won 7 in a row now. So they are also a team that's surging in the right direction. But yeah, so Broncos stunned Miami, Tua benched. Not much else to say to that.
I forgot to ask you with the Saints game. If you were grading Taysom Hill, what would you give him yesterday? Because Reggie Bush at halftime said that he gave him a C. But I would agree with that. But closing in, I think I would give him more of a B because the second half he really stepped up once the defense started knocking.
Look, he proved that he could definitely start. He proved that they made the right choice by not starting Jameis and going with him. All right? He did whatever he did on the ground. I mean, it was 51 yards, but he still got in the end zone twice. He didn't throw any touchdowns. And again, I don't think you're not going to have that. You're not going to have a Drew Brees or your normal quarterback that's snapping the ball and is going to stand in the pocket and throw a deep bomb. You may get 1 or 2 of those. I doubt it. So 233 yards, first start. All right, I'll give you a C. You
give him a C?
Yeah, I'll give him a C.
All right. Like I said, I'll give him a B because the first half, I would say C was what he deserved in the first half, but the second half he stepped up a little bit, so I'll give him a B on that. Because even when he was passing, he was throwing some good stuff.
You got the Titans. They upset the Ravens 30-24 in overtime. Henry had the 29-yard run in overtime. I mean, at that point, you're probably just trying to get closer to get a field goal, and he just broke through and scored the touchdown, which is probably obviously better for them. But you don't have to worry about missing a field goal and giving the Ravens back the ball. But the Ravens got the ball back. The Ravens got the ball, I believe, first in overtime. And
hey, Lamar looked good for that MVP. 3 it out. Hey,
they sacked. How many times did he get sacked in that sequence? Right? Didn't they sack him in that sequence in that 3 and out?
I think they did. I think the third down is when he got sacked.
Okay. So so the Ravens had the ball first, couldn't do anything. Titans got it, and Titans won. But that was actually a really good battle between the two teams.
Oh no, it was a good game. I mean, the back and forth was good. I was watching more of because I was able to watch both games.
See, I couldn't because this wasn't televised for me. I don't do the Yahoo Sports app like you had said. I might need to start. The only problem is
I told you to do it
I know,
because
but I like to watch TV. I like to watch games on the television. I don't want to watch. My computer's all the way over here in the back room. I don't want to watch on a computer screen unless I
no,
can get it.
you gotta watch it on a phone or a tablet. But still, the HD on there is a lot better than the regular television.
I don't.
I mean, Lamar got sacked. Yeah, he got sacked once, and that was that 9-yard loss on third down.
All right. Now, with the exception of last night's game, I think the better game of the week was easily this next game, and that's the Colts and Packers. Packers had a good lead. Packers were up, I think, at one point by 14.
Yeah,
And
they blew a 14-point lead.
Rodgers had a 47-yard bomb to Scantling with a minute and 10 left. And they ended up getting it to field goal range with a couple of passes to Avante Adams. They tied the game. Now that was here was the key. Now the Colts almost lost this game, and if they were going to lose this game, so I'm watching this fucking game, and it was like 2 and change left. They have the ball. All they have to do now, because they're up by 3, is just kill the clock and maybe either score another field goal or score a touchdown. Obviously. Now I know it was total, but it had to be around 7 or 8 in that sequence alone. 9 offensive penalties. Every time Taylor ran the ball and got any type of surplus of yardage, it got called back for a hold. Or one of them, only one was illegal motion by one of the receivers or the tight end. But other than that, they were all fucking holds. Phillip Rivers couldn't believe it. The announcer said, I've never seen this happen before. It was every single rush. Yep. It literally took almost 30 fucking minutes to kill 20 seconds off the clock. Because, and at one point, the Packers are like, we're declining these penalties. They were at 2nd and 30 at one point. They're like, all right, we're just gonna count it down, because at this point it doesn't make sense to keep giving them the extra down to go for it. So because the Colts couldn't do that, and they also converted a 4th and 6, I believe, with like a 14-yard pass or something like that. I think it was like 4th and 6. So you're like, all right, they converted a 4th and 6. Now they're just gonna kill the clock. It was like a minute and 55 left. Nope. Offensive penalty after penalty after penalty. They punted the ball, right? Mm-hmm. They cornered. They said, all right, you know what? We're just gonna punt the ball. We're not even gonna go for the long field goal. They backed the Packers up on their own 6, and then that's when, I think it was on 3rd down, actually, on 3rd and 10, Rodgers threw that bomb to Scantling for 47 yards. And then that just propelled them, got them closer, got the field goal, tied the game, and then they were lucky enough to win in overtime. But what a game. Let me tell you something. It was a really good game. Both teams turned it over.
No, it was. I mean, but Scantling, you also said, caught that pass to get the field goal. He also was the cause of
he was
winning their field goal, because he coughed up the ball in overtime.
Yes, he was the one that fumbled the ball. Yeah, it was a catch and fumble. You're right. I have that written down. A catch and fumble. So as I said, 3rd and 10 from the 6. They got the field goal, tied 31. Then Scantling had the catch fumble, right? And then Blankenship just easy chip shot 39, because he missed from 50. He hit the crossbar from 50 earlier in the game. So they wanted to make sure that they got it closer enough for him. And again, 50 yards isn't a chip shot. It's not that long, but he ended up missing it. But yeah, so Rodgers went 3-11 for 3 touchdowns and an interception. Also had a fumble earlier in the game. And then Rivers, he had 288 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception. So both quarterbacks doing putting up very similar numbers. And it was a shootout. It really was. It was a good game. It was a good back and forth game. Me and James were texting when the game was on. He's like, I'm like, who'd you go for again? He goes, I'm going for Pack. Because I remember, I think, who do we go for? The Colts?
We both picked Indy, I think.
Yeah. I said, well, I'm hoping for the Colts to win. I think their defense is really good. And their defense did step up. They forced 3 turnovers. So, all right. So that was that. Then you got the Panthers. Now, the only reason why I'm bringing this up, honestly, the only thing I have written down is, because it was the debut of PJ Walker, which, didn't really impress as much, but it was the first time since 2009, October '09, that the Lions, which I was actually kind of amazed by, considering that the Lions have had some really bad seasons over the last 11 years, but this is their first time they've ever been shut out since 2009 of October.
Wow.
So that's the only thing I have written down. But PJ Walker, 258 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions in his debut.
Former XFL quarterback.
What?
He was in the XFL.
Oh, XFL? Gotcha.
This past season, but they had to end the season because of COVID shit.
Gotcha. All right. Next upset, you got the Texans beating the Patriots. Patriots had the chance to score as well, but Cam Newton, they couldn't do it last second, and they gave the ball back. But Texans 27-20. Watson 344 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground, and Cam 365 yards with a touchdown. So this was another shootout. This was basically another shootout.
No, it was a good game. I mean, I watched the highlights and got to watch it on YouTube this morning.
Yeah.
Early, because like if you wanted to say well, Mike, how do I follow the games if I'm not watching them? And I'm on YouTube, and I told you, in fact, I messaged you at the time I started watching, which was 7:40 your time. I was up this morning at 5:40.
Want to hear something weird? So you must have messaged me when I just dozed off. So I inexplicably woke up at 5 to 5, right? And I could not go back to sleep until after 7 a.m. Couldn't go back to bed.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to set my alarm for 10.
As soon as I messaged you with
you messaged
I told you I was you, not you.
Okay. No, I thought you messaged you. I was like, all right, where is he? Tell him to come on.
Juju.
Juju?
It was his birthday yesterday, Juju.
Oh, happy birthday. Well, he got a win.
And he got a little birthday, little football cake, the Claypool when he scored a touchdown.
I saw they blew out the candle.
Happy birthday.
He blew out the candle. I got
you. But the whole thing is that when I watch the highlights, I'm doing this at a little after 5 in the morning.
Right.
And I'm on YouTube, and that's the first thing I do. I just go to the highlights, and of course, there's so many games I have to follow before 9 a.m. when we go on. I got to watch everything and watch it all. And when I was watching the New England game, I was like, damn, fucking Texas looked tough today. I'm like, and then I saw Cam coming back. I said, oh shit, my Cam's going to come back.
Well, this is the team that so earlier in the season without picks, anytime it came up to the Texans or whoever they were playing, this is what I was expecting. And I know they lost D-Hop. I know they lost a couple of pieces from from that offense. Their defense was always one of their main suits with JJ Watt and whatever else. But this is the team that I was expecting earlier in the season. I'm not saying that they're going to go into the playoffs, but this is a Texans team that has been consistently good. So is it a surprise that
they've been a playoff team before? They
just don't usually do anything. Yeah. They don't usually do anything. And I believe they were eliminated by the Titans last year, correct?
Yes.
Was it?
I believe.
It doesn't matter. All right, next headline, which was one of the games that we picked this one the right way, but we all also wanted this outcome as Giant fans, and that's the Browns beating the Eagles 22-17. It was the only NFC East team that did lose yesterday that we needed to. But the main one, if any team had to lose, it was definitely the Eagles because they had the lead. They would have
now we got a three-way second place tie. With all them a half game back.
Yeah. So this was what we needed. Wentz had the 2 touchdowns. You also had 2 interceptions. And Chubb is the one that, pretty much, Baker had an all right game, but it was Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But Kareem Hunt only finished with I think either 11 or 14. I'm trying to, again, a lot of these things I don't write down. This is all dependent on what I can remember almost photographically on a screen. So I know he barely had a surplus of yards because I think he got tackled for losses a lot because he ended up getting I remember them saying that he got the rushing touchdown, but when he got the rushing touchdown, I don't think at that point he even had positive yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Because Baker only won 12 or 22 for 204.
Okay.
No touchdowns. All the touchdowns came from Hunt, scored 1 touchdown, and
there was a pick six.
And there was a pick six.
Was there a pick six?
Yeah, it was a pick six.
Pick six. It was a 50-yard pick six.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have it written down right here too. Pick six. 50-yard pick six. So that was one of the other things. But what did Hunt finish with? I know he had the only touchdown on the ground for the Browns, but what did he have? 14 yards or something like that? 11?
11.
Yeah, I knew it was one of those two. It was either 11 or 14.
Chubb won 20.
With 114.
For 114.
Yeah. So there was the 14 that I was getting confused with. That's why I said 14.
But, we said this after Odell went down, and we mentioned this. Baker looks a lot calmer.
Yeah.
Without OBJ on that field.
Okay.
And
he does.
And he did look a lot better. And I heard after the game, everybody joined in, and Baker made his famous deep fried turkey with some crescent rolls, and everybody had a delicious meal.
Are you making fun of the commercials?
Yes, I'm making fun of the commercials.
All right, next on the list. This is a team that we wanted to win. They ended up losing, but also it wasn't good for us in the NFC East standings, and that's Dallas. Look, they came ahead and they won 31-28. That was actually another good game.
Fucking ginger snap.
And the funny thing is too, this was Elliott's first plus 100 yards rushing of the season with 103. That's crazy for Ezekiel Elliott. He usually
what sucks next.
He usually eats them up. Eat them up.
Yeah. But what sucks next week though is that Thursday Washington plays Dallas. So if we beat Cincinnati, we're still going to be in a tie, either for first or still in a tie for second, a half game back.
Which sucks and that's what I was saying yesterday to you in messaging. I said, look, we need Dallas to lose, we need Philly to lose.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
We need Washington to lose, and then this Thursday we need Washington to win. So, or even if Dallas wins, we needed whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so now at this point, it doesn't matter who wins on Thursday.
I think this is going to come down to Week 17, Giants versus Dallas, and whoever wins, that's going to be.
It just might, but also too, the Eagles
be the winner.
The Eagles have to start reeling, And Cousins did all right. 314, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, no interceptions, but he did have a fumble. And then Cook also fumbled the ball, but had 63 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, well, Ginger Snap had 3 TDs too.
Yeah.
And Thielen, I think I had 1 to Lamb. Was it 1 to Zeke?
No. I know Thielen had 2 of them. Thielen had 2, and one of them was a highlight reel catch in the corner of the end zone, one hand. So Thielen had 2, and I think one other, and Dalvin had 1.
No, but I meant for Dallas. Because I know it was.
I don't know.
Caught 1.
I don't know because you're right. Because Dalton had 3 touchdowns, so I don't know who has them.
Hold on.
Yeah, James. Yeah, I don't know if they play every year. They don't think they play each other every year, but I feel like Dallas does have a Thursday a Thanksgiving game as well.
Yeah, they do. The original Thanksgiving games were Dallas,
Chicago, Detroit. I think.
No, Dallas and Detroit were the only 2 games.
Okay.
And then they threw in the Thursday night game a few years back because people wanted to watch something at night after dinner.
Gotcha.
So let me get to the Dallas game here, and I'll let you know exactly what Ginger Snap did.
Okay.
And if you wonder why I call Andy Dalton Ginger Snap, is because he is a fucking redhead, just like me. So yeah, Ginger Boy.
I got it. I got the reference.
Well, no, not you. I mean our viewers too.
Yes.
The 2 people watching right now.
Oof.
Even Sippy isn't here. James is here longer than Sippy would be right now.
Sippy, we're gonna miss you because we're about to talk about your team.
Okay, so yeah. So touchdown wise, it was Connor Lamb.
Lamb caught also a really good catch.
He did. Yeah, it was a really good catch. I saw
He
that
was
in the
caught it
highlights.
as he was falling to his back. That was
Zeke,
a very good
Zeke,
catch.
Zeke. No, actually, you know what? Zeke did catch one as well,
Okay.
and Dalton Schultz. And when asked after the game if he knew that ball was going to come to him, Dalton Schultz said, "I know nothing, nothing." Hogan Heroes reference, folks, if you know what I'm talking about.
All right. Now, last game happened to be a good one. Happened to be last night's Sunday Night Football. And they've been, honestly, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and even Thursday
Yeah,
Night Football
really, really some good fucking.
have
And
some
tonight's Monday night's game is going to be good too with the
Rams and
Rams and
49ers. Yeah.
49. No, Rams and
Rams and
Tampa Bay.
Bucks. Bucks.
Yep.
Sorry. I knew that sounded wrong when I said it. Rams and Bucks. That's going to be a very good game, and that's a very important game as well, for the South and also for the West. But let's talk about the rematch. Now, obviously, the Raiders were the only team so far to give KC a loss, and this was a rematch of that loss. And I really thought, even though they were playing in Vegas, I really thought that KC was going to come out shooting, and I really thought that they were going to. I thought what Sippy thought. I really did think that KC wasn't going to allow this game to be as close as it was, and that they were going to really take care of business this time, because KC's defense isn't bad, but for some reason, Carr and the Raiders. They just, look, I know they got weapons. I know they have Waller. I know they have Josh Jacobs on the ground. I know they do have weapons. But Carr just looks really good against this Kansas City team. I don't know why.
You know, I messaged you. You remember when I asked you?
Yeah, he
Carr?
did. They kept showing him. They kept showing him on the sideline. He was like this.
I said to you, and what I messaged Joey, folks, was, why does Carr look stoned?
He did.
He looked stoned. My wife was sitting there on the couch, and she was getting ready to walk the dog, and she sees Carr on the sidelines. She goes, "What's wrong with that man?" I go, "What?" She goes, "Why does he look so angry?" I said, "Babe, that's the opposing quarterback that's on the bench right now, and he's actually in thought mode." She goes, "He looks pissed." I'm like, "I don't know." I told Joey he looks stoned.
No, some of the pictures that they had on the internet of him, like on Instagram or whatever, he looked like a serial killer in some of them. Like, he looked bad. Like, he looked
really.
Yeah.
He looked like he's been on like a 3-day nuts bender and didn't get no sleep. That's how bad he looked. I mean, I don't know what it is with him.
Now, my only gripe with this game, and because, again, I'm not really a fan of either team. So whoever wins, wins.
I like Kansas City. I like Kansas
and I
City.
don't mind the Raiders. So that's what I'm saying. Either win, I would have been okay, because I don't mind Derek Carr. I don't mind the Raiders.
We both picked Kansas City though.
Yeah, because I felt Kansas City was going to win, which they did. But either way, if the Raiders would have came out with a victory, it would have been like, all right, hats off to the Raiders and whatever. But my gripe was, so they had the pass interference called, which was kind of a big play. I'm not saying that the Chiefs weren't going to score. Maybe they hold them to a field goal at that point, but they were threatening. The pass interference called against Arnett, who was covering Kelsey. My problem was there was contact, but the ball, like but it looked more like, and even the commentator said it looked more like Kelsey ran into him because he was running a route, but the ball was thrown out of bounds and wasn't even catchable. So I just felt at that play that was a bad pass interference.
Yeah, it was.
But then you get the flip side of it with no pass interference called in the end zone, where there was obvious contact. Like, if you're gonna throw a penalty, or if you're not gonna throw a pass interference for one play that was clearly a non-catchable ball, this one was in the hands of the Raiders. He could have caught it, but he was messed around with. He was, there was jiving. There was hand jiving. There was hand jobbing. There was hand jobbing in the end zone. So that was my only gripe. But other than that, look, we knew it was either going to come down to who's going to make the first mistake, or who just wasn't going to be able to score first. and honestly,
Patrick made the first mistake. He threw an interception,
and they also had the first punt of the game as well. So the Raiders had some clear opportunities. So, Carr finished with 275, 3 touchdowns and an interception, and then Mahomes 348 for 2 touchdowns and an interception. And Edwards-Helaire had
Carr didn't have no interceptions.
You sure? I have him as 1. I'm pretty sure he threw an interception.
I think it's 0. Because they were showing it on NBC after the game. Hold on, I'll let you know right now.
Because I know he only had 2 for the year. Because he was right behind Mahomes with 1, but I think he has 3 now, and Mahomes has 2.
Oh no, you're right. Then NBC had it wrong because they had 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions after the game was over. But no, you're right. I do apologize. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception for Carr.
And Edwards-Helaire had 2 touchdowns on the ground, and Bell had 25 with 1 touchdown. So their other touchdowns came on the ground. So you have 3 touchdowns that came on the ground. But
and then Hill had a touchdown. Kelsey had a touchdown.
Yeah.
But
Witten. How about Witten scoring that touchdown to put them ahead 31-28?
I think the reason why he's doing this is something to do with some record.
Yes, no, he's 6 games away. 6 games away. He'll have the most games played by a tight end.
Who's he going to beat out?
Tony Gonzalez.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's why a lot of people are like, why is Jason Witten playing at 39 years old? Now you know the answer. He won, there's a certain record sitting out there he wants to have.
Yeah, why
not?
You
gotta remember too, he took a year off. He said, I'm done. And then he went to do Monday Night Football. And then he came back, and now he's still going to beat that record.
Yeah, and if you're that close to a record, why not? Why not? My hats off to him. He deserves it. He's been playing for as long as they have. Why not? All right, he's
actually the reason why now the whistles are blown when the helmets come off.
Let's what I'm doing now is I don't have week matchups written out like games versus what I wrote down though instead was I have the entire standings ahead of in front of me, and next to each record I have the teams that they are playing next, and then above that I have both the AFC and the NFC playoff picture. So I have everything written down. So as it stands right now. In the AFC,
you got to be totally off. Are we doing picks for next week, or what are we doing here?
No, we're not doing picks. We're just going to talk about the next week's matchup, the next opponents for each team, but that's it.
Well, so we're not going to say who we like, though.
Sure, we can do that.
All right, keep throwing change-ups on me. Go ahead.
All right, so as of now, the AFC playoff picture, Pittsburgh's got the number 1 seed, KC's got the number 2, Buffalo's got number 3, and the Colts have the 4th because they are the division leaders.
Right.
The wild cards, you got Tennessee, Cleveland, and Vegas. Those are your 5, 6, and 7. In the hunt right now, the only 2 teams are Baltimore and Miami.
And Baltimore's going to be further back in the hunt after Thursday, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you got Baltimore and Miami. Now in the NFC playoffs picture, you got New Orleans is now as the number 1 seed, with Seattle number 2, Green Bay number 3, and Philly number 4. Wild card goes to Tampa Bay, Rams, Arizona, with Chicago, Giants, Redskins, and Dallas all in the hunt.
Well, that's the hunt for the NFC East, not the wild card itself. Yeah, I mean, they're only half game back.
It's a playoff hunt. Yeah, so they're in the hunt, and the only reason why is like as you said it. If the NFC East had a clear cut winner. Like if you had a team in the NFC East right now that was 7-2 or 7-3 or 8-2, the Giants and the other whatever wouldn't even be in the hunt.
And we keep saying it. If they didn't fuck up that first game up against Philly and losing to Dallas in that last loss, we'll be in first place right now, and they're probably just going okay.
Yeah. So right now, at the top of the AFC East, you got Buffalo 7-3, and their next opponent is versus the Chargers next Sunday. So who do you got in that game? Who do you like?
I like Buffalo. I mean, like I said, that defense is atrocious. I mean, but Buffalo's defense is a lot better than the Jets' defense. So I mean, Herbert's going to play okay, but he's not going to play to like stellar, as he did this week.
I think Buffalo too, and James also said Buffalo. James has picked Buffalo, so I also think so too. I think Buffalo is going to play a better game. And
what about the Thanksgiving games? I mean, we completely stepped over those three
because we're going to get to that
later.
Eventually. We're going to get to that eventually. Now,
all right.
Now Miami's 6-4. They did lose, but they're still second place, and their next game is at the Jets. So what are you thinking there? Now, I'm just saying. Look. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be a starter now. I don't know if they are going to stick with Tua.
No. It's already been reported.
All right,
that Flores said Tua is going to be the starter Sunday up against the Jets.
So I mean, this is not an easy pick right now. Not after what the Jets showed that they can do. Again, I think the Dolphins defense is way better than the Chargers, but they can score points. And if their rookie quarterback is not going to put points up, and if they can put pressure on him, like Denver did, who knows? I don't know if this is an easy pick. Look, right now at 0-10, it's hard to pick on that side of the ball. So I'm gonna pick Miami. But this is a game now, especially after that loss.
That's what I was thinking about it too. Is James says Jets gonna win finally?
I think we actually see it. He could be right. He could be right. So I'm gonna.
He could be right. I picked Miami. I'm taking Miami, but. What like you said, I'm
going with Miami as well, only just for the simple fact is that the Jets are proving that they can score a little bit more, but their defense is still giving up just as much points. And this is with Allen, and I don't know. I'm gonna go. Not Allen. I'm not Allen. I'm sorry. I'm still talking about Buffalo. But even if Tua gets benched and they put in Fitz, I think they have a better shot. Miami. With Fitz.
I don't like the fact that this coach is playing now mind games with both these guys.
They should have done that. They should have never made the switch.
That's first off. They shouldn't. Fitz was leading you in a good way. I don't know where this came from, where this kid comes in with a minute left of the game and he throws 2 passes and this guy is like creaming.
Because even the wins, so if I believe from the streak, from the 5 that they won in a row, Fitz gave you 3. Tua gave you 2, but he wasn't even responsible for those wins.
Well, I think one of the games you could give to Tua, but that first game they won?
The first game, absolutely no, because he even admitted, he even said, he goes, thank God I have a defense like them.
Even James agrees that Miami has a better shot.
I think they have a better shot with Fitz too. I agree. But if they're going to start with Tua, that's the only thing that I have. That. I'm still going to stick with Miami, so we'll see what happens. And I know you're picking Miami as well, right?
I'll put it this way. I'm reluctantly picking Miami because of the Jets.
Same. It's only because they're 0-10.
Only because of the record. Only because of the record.
Yeah.
And Miami has a better defense.
Yes.
And the Jets offense.
Yeah. You're right. No, you're right.
It's wishy-washy sometimes.
It's pishy-poshy, as you would say too.
Exactly. Crappy.
All right, now the last team in AFC East, because obviously we're already talking about the Jets, so we don't have to go to them again. New England, which is starting to decline now. I think they're pretty much out of it. They face Arizona on Sunday, and they're 4-6. So at this point, I think I got to go Arizona. I'm
definitely going Arizona. I think Belichick needs to figure out what this team needs next year. I make a decision.
I 100% think Cam Newton will not be your starting quarterback in New England. I just don't see it happening. I don't.
Is he drafting, or is he going to make a phone call to and James picked Arizona?
I don't think. Well. Yeah, I don't. I circled it. I had a feeling.
Or is Belichick going to make a call to a certain guy that he reluctantly had to get rid of because
It depends what San Francisco. Depends what San Francisco decides to do. All right, now this is a Thursday game. Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
I've been
Pittsburgh
riding this wave all. I've been riding this wave all season.
Pittsburgh
I
at
think
Baltimore. At
no,
Baltimore
no,
now.
no, 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 no. Pittsburgh at
Versus
Pittsburgh at
versus
home.
versus.
Pittsburgh
I'm looking at it
home.
now. I'm looking at it now. I wrote versus. You're right. I'm correcting myself. You were 100% right. They are playing in Pittsburgh. Look, they're 10-0. Ravens just lost a game that they probably should have won. I'm with you, and James said it as well. I think it's it's not clear. Again, no game is guaranteed.
Oh no, no game is guaranteed. But when you look at when you're looking at this and
Yeah,
you're thinking it, one, like I said, I have a hatred for Lamar Jackson, and two, I am the biggest, I think, advocate
you are.
for Ben Roethlisberger this year to be, the MVP, and I think he's doing a lot more to show he's an MVP than Lamar was.
All right, now Cleveland, they're sitting in second place at 7-3, so they're in a very good position now to sneak into the playoffs if they continue to ride this, and they're playing at Jacksonville on Sunday.
Cleveland.
So yeah, I just feel like, and I'm circling it because I'm almost positive James is going to say Cleveland as well. When I circle a team, that means all three of us picked that. If not, I write down whatever. But I think that's a clear pick.
I'll wait for James to put Jacksonville on the comments.
No, he picked Cleveland. Now Baltimore, we obviously skipped because we already picked that with Pittsburgh, and now Cincy, they're at the very bottom of that division, and they play the Giants at home against on Sunday against the Giants.
Giants.
I'm gonna go Giants as well. I feel like this is a game they need to win. Well, I mean, obviously they need to win all these games, but I feel like this is a game they need to win only because they're going to be playing against now. What is this?
When you're playing a backup quarterback that
Yeah.
got his head, they got his head taken off.
Yeah, and yeah, I just feel like, and James said it too, and I circled it. I just had a feeling we're gonna do whatever. I think it's a game they need to win, but they need to be careful as well. You can't underestimate a team. Look what they did with the 49ers and Nick Mullins. We played a team that had no starters on their fucking team, and we got demolished. So that's that. Now, Indy and Tennessee are both tied for 7-3. They're tied, and they're playing each other now. Indy's going to be home. They're playing at home versus the Titans. That's Sunday. That's a Sunday game. Colts and Titans. Colts just came up with a huge win against the Packers, and
Tennessee
Titans
came up against a huge win up against Baltimore.
Yeah. So both teams coming up a huge win, and those were must wins for both teams anyway because they're trying to stay tied. And then the only other team behind them is the Texans at 3-7, so they're pretty much playing for their division and for a wild card at 1.2 because now that the Raiders lost, the Raiders and Ravens both lost, so they're 6-4. So right now, you have to win. You have to win.
Yep.
James says Colts. I'm reluctant to also pick. Not reluctant. I'm leaning towards the Colts as well. Because Tannehill hasn't been that great, and they've been relying on Derrick Henry. And if
that's going to be the X factor in the game. I think
the Colts can maintain.
And
that's what I think so too. And that's why I feel like if the Colts can maintain Derrick Henry, they win the game. I'm gonna go Colts.
I think that
I think you're leaning towards Titans.
I am. I think that the Tennessee offensive line is going to figure out ways how to get holes open for Derek to get through and have a big rushing day on that one. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm definitely going Tennessee. So right. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be in the circle with you two.
That's fine. All right, and I believe the third and final Thursday game, Texans at Detroit.
Houston.
I see it, and I got to go Houston too. I do love. Look, I love Matthew Stafford. I do, but the Texans.
You got a mad crush on Matthew Stafford. I hate to say
do. I feel bad for the guy. The guy throws consistently almost every year, almost 5,000 or more yards, just on the wrong fucking team. But I'm going to go Texans as well. Especially after their fucking embarrassing loss, 20-0 against a rookie quarterback. No, I'm going.
From the XFL.
Yeah, I'm sure James is going to pick the
I'm sure
Texans.
there's going to be a circle pick
Oh,
on
you
this
know what?
one.
Yeah, he
Yep.
picks
Okay.
Texans.
Yep. Good.
All right. Now we're in the West. You got a big game now on Sunday. Now this is actually a really big game. This is going to be another good game, and I think this is no, it's not Sunday. It's a 4:00 game, so I hope this is televised. KC at 9-1 versus Tampa Bay. At Tampa Bay. Sorry, at Tampa Bay.
That's going to be. I mean, that's a damn good matchup, but I think Kansas City's going to beat them.
Yeah, because what was that one game? Was it? It was New Orleans, right? Was New Orleans the one that really just ran all over Tampa Bay? It was New Orleans, right?
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, and that was one of those games where you're like, okay, we're gonna have a marquee game, we're gonna have a really good game, and then it end up being just a one-sided, lopsided victory, and that's what I find is going to be a problem here as well. I just worry now.
I get to actually watch Tampa Bay and Kansas City next week. They are the late game.
All right, so
I don't know what I mean, because
so
you
you're
got
going
the Jets
KC?
and the Giants.
You're going KC?
I'm gonna go KC.
All right, just to make it fun, just to make it whatever.
And James picks KC as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay, only just so there's not a circle in almost every fucking game. I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
I think, but basically, you think KC's going to win.
I think KC's going to win, but look, they did narrowly escape another loss to the Raiders. I think Tampa Bay's offense is a lot more potent than the Raiders' offense is, and their defense has actually shown some promise at times as well. So that's the only. I feel like the Bucs do have a more rounded team than the Raiders. So if they can figure out the formula that Carr and the Raiders were able to pull off against the Chiefs, I think the Buccaneers actually have a shot at home. So we'll see with that. Raiders, it's an important game for the Raiders, but they play at Atlanta. So I'm going Raiders just because of what they've been doing. I think they're a really good team. They're a lot better team than their 6-4 record is. I think they handle Matt Ryan and the Falcons easily, especially after what the Falcons disproved yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to go Las Vegas on there as well.
James, who are you going for? You going for Matty Ice or Matty Nice? I don't even know what that means.
You might be able to watch that KC game because both the Jets and the Giants are 1:00 starts.
Good.
Sunday.
Good. Then that opens up the 4:00 slot. I probably have a doubleheader then. Good. I'm glad. Because anytime the Giants are a 4:00 game or whatever, the other game's always blacked out.
Yeah, because the early game for me is going to be I think it was. Well, I know Arizona is going to be one of the early games, but since they're on the road, they actually give us a second game because of the road trip.
Come on, James, you need your pick. Raiders, Falcons. Let's go.
Yeah, so I get Raiders, Falcons, or I can watch the Cardinals game.
All right, we'll skip ahead. I'll go back to his pick once he put it in. Denver at versus New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Taysom Hill until.
I will say this. And James picked the Raiders, which I already knew he was going to. I circled it. I will say this. Look, the Saints have won 7 in a row. They're right now the number 1 seed in the NFC. Taysom Hill worries me because I don't know what you're going to get. And he and James picked New Orleans. I have New Orleans circled because I want to pick the Saints just because they're the hot team right now and they've won 7 in a row. And their defense.
Have faith to Taysom.
Their defense, yes. But after what the Broncos are a very sneaky 4-6. They're one of those teams where you're like, I'm not saying, look, Locke isn't the best quarterback. They're not, but their defense has kind of come up big in a couple of games.
But think about this.
And they're playing in Denver.
Now, Denver.
The Denver air fucks you up.
Wait a minute. Who did Denver play again this week?
The Broncos beat the Pats.
Okay, so they beat the Pats.
Not the Pats. Miami.
Okay. Now, the Broncos beat Miami, who has a decent defense.
Not decent. They're good defense.
Yeah. Well, isn't New Orleans defense better?
Better. Yes. Yeah.
There's
All
your
right.
answer.
All right. Well, look, on paper, I'm putting New Orleans, but again, when we do the show next Monday and Denver ends up upsetting the Saints, I'm not going to be surprised. We'll just say that. We already did the Chargers in Buffalo. All right. Monday Night Football. Philadelphia versus Seattle.
Did we cover Washington and Dallas yet?
We're in that division yet.
We didn't do the NFC. Oh, okay. So you stick with the we're in the AFC.
Now we're in the NFC East. We're in the NFC East. Philadelphia obviously leads the division by a half a game. They play Seattle at home.
Seattle.
Monday Night Football.
Seattle.
Yeah.
How many times I gotta say it?
Seattle better fucking win that game.
Yeah, put a circle because
I did.
Yep,
James did. Yeah, we knew it.
Yeah.
All right, we already discussed Giants at Saints. Dallas and Washington Thanksgiving. This is the final game. I made a mistake. This is the final Thursday game.
Yeah. Well, actually, it'll be the second one. The Pittsburgh game will be the final. But in our order, we'll do it as a final.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying the final one we're going to discuss for Thursday's Thanksgiving game. Now, here's the thing. Honestly, it doesn't matter who wins. But I think down the road, Dallas, well, especially since we already beat the Redskins twice, I think down the road, Dallas will pose a more threat. So I think we go for Washington in this game. It's the smarter move. We need Washington to win.
I already picked Washington anyway.
Okay. So I'll circle Washington. I'm not necessarily. So with this pick is the only pick I'm going to pick from emotion. I think Dallas probably wins this game, to be honest with you, but we need Washington to win this game. It's a no-brainer.
Well, I mean, me and you are picking it because of pure hatred. So.
Yeah. All right, and James picked Washington as well, so that's circled. Now, Sunday night game, obviously it's not as marquee. It should be a good matchup because it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, division rival game in the sport. Green Bay at Chicago. I'm sorry, Green Bay versus Chicago. So they're playing in Lambeau versus Chicago. We've all talked about it. Sunday Night Football, we all talked about it. Chicago, speaking of which, and that's just only because of laundry day, my Giants hoodies are being washed. Chicago's going the opposite way. Green Bay, they did lose against the Colts, but they lost against a really good team as well.
And Chicago's coming off a bye week.
Yeah. So Green Bay 7-3, Chicago 5-5. Green Bay at Lambeau. I'm picking Green Bay. What do you got?
Wait, what's Green Bay's record?
7-3.
They're 6-4.
No, they're 7-3.
I messed up somewhere. I'm going to take Green Bay too. Put a circle.
Yeah. Circle gets a square. Green Bay. Minnesota, a team that you thought was trending up. And they failed to fucking beat the lowly Cowboys. 4-6 versus Carolina.
Minnesota.
Now, is Teddy still out?
I don't know. I'm looking at the news. I haven't heard anything about Bridgewater yet.
I still think Minnesota's the better team anyway, to be honest with you.
I think so too.
I'm going Minnesota. James already picked Minnesota. I already had a feeling. All right, we already discussed the Detroit game because they're playing the Texans. Now on to the NFC South. We mentioned the Saints versus Denver. We already picked that. Tampa, we already picked. Carolina, we already picked. Atlanta, we already picked. Okay. Because they played AFC teams. Seattle, we already picked. Rams versus 49ers. That's tonight's game. I'm sorry. We already talked about tonight's game. That's next Sunday's game. I'm sorry. Because remember, that's why. So that's what got me confused. The Rams play the 49ers Sunday. Today they play the Bucs. My mistake. Rams versus 49ers next week.
Yeah, because Monday next week is Seattle and Philly.
Yeah. I'm going Rams. 49ers are all over the place. I don't know who's
True.
starting. I don't know anything about the 49ers anymore. I don't even know.
You don't know who the quarterback is. You don't know if it's McMullen,
Yeah.
Garoppolo,
Yeah.
the guy throwing hot dogs in
Bethard,
the
you
stands.
know, if it's going to be Bethard, FedEx guys, we don't know anything.
FedEx guys that don't know how to kick,
James picked Rams too.
Yeah, give me the Rams. Who am I kidding?
And that's it, because we already covered the Arizona versus New England game. So that's pretty much it. So just to circle back for tonight's game, Rams and Bucks. What do you have?
I took Tampa Bay, I thought.
Did we?
Yeah, I got Tampa Bay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got Tampa Bay too, and I think James is probably going to pick Tampa. But yeah, so next week we got some really good matchups. Thursday we got a couple of good games, but really, especially I think Pittsburgh versus Baltimore is obviously the better game of Thanksgiving. But just out of curiosity, just to see how the NFC East is going to go, that's the only reason why the Washington Dallas game piques my interest a little bit, and plus it's football. I just like watching football. Look, I honestly, and that's why. Look, why does a Giants fan wear Bears? Whatever. I said that. I bought Seattle sweatshirt. I did whatever because we're doing a sports talk based show. I don't want to always lean towards the Giants. Yeah, the Giants are my favorite team, but in general, I like the sport. I like to watch it. I like sports in general. ESPN is literally almost on all the time, every day in my house, unless I'm watching either YouTube or I'm watching another TV show that I like. But normally ESPN, I'll wake up, I'll make my coffee, I'll watch First Take, or I'll watch another Sports Center, or I'll watch whatever. So I'm always have ESPN on. Yeah, Get Up. I honestly, you know what? I don't like Get Up. I'll watch it sometimes. I don't like Get Up. I don't like what's his face. Who's
Greeny?
Oh, is that who's on Get Up? Who's the one with the what do you call it? Sharp. Who's the one with Sharp?
No. That's Undisputed with Skip Bayless.
Oh, I can't stand Skip Bayless. I hate Skip Bayless.
I don't know. The shit out of him. I used to like Skip when he debated Stephen A. a lot.
That's because he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. And that's not why I don't. That's not why I don't like him.
I don't even like Shannon Sharp that much. I mean, I
don't look. I have no opinion against Shannon Sharp. I honestly don't mind Shannon Sharp. I loved him as a player. I thought he was a really good. I believe he was a tight end, if not a wide receiver.
Here, let me see how smart you really are. Trivia.
Okay.
What was the original name of First Take?
I don't know.
Cold Pizza.
Cold Pizza?
Cold Pizza was the original name of First Take.
I would have never have known that.
And then they had the First and Takes.
Well, you would, of course, you would fucking know that. Cold Pizza. Of course, you would fucking know that.
It was Cold Pizza. I think. Dana Jacobson and what the fuck was his name? He was a former Major League Baseball catcher.
I thought you were going to tell me. I thought you were going to tell me it was Thanksgiving dessert.
No, Dana Jacobson and I forgot the other guy's name that hosted. But how they got the First Take was it used to be Cold Pizza, and then they had the segment First and 10, where Skip Bayless would debate Woody Page. Then Cold Pizza became First and 10, and then First and 10 became First Take.
All right. Honestly, I really don't care. But I do like to watch
the evolution of First Take.
I do like to watch that show. I like Max Kellerman, and I honestly do like it. Even though
I hate Max Kellerman.
I don't mind Matt. I like Max Kellerman, and
I'm sorry.
Look, he's a Giants fan. I can't go against a Giants fan, and I do like Stephen A. I do. At times he could be annoying, but
you know my rule: don't politicize my sports.
And
that's what Max Kellerman does.
And I do love me some Molly. What's her last name? Karam? I don't know.
Molly Karam.
Honestly, though, she's married to a former NBA star, so
here's the reason why I don't like her too much.
Why?
She butts in doing mid-sentence with everybody.
Well, she's the commentator. She's got to make sure that the she has to. She's the host. So she has to make sure that, time wise that they're aligned with whatever. They have to align with commercial breaks. So she has to butt in. So I don't fault her for that. I don't. Anyway,
I meant to ask you real quick.
what?
Last night's game, did you hear Carr's snap count during the game using NBA references?
Yes, I did.
He said, he goes, Mamba. He said under center, Mamba is Kobe.
Yes. No, there was a few other ones that he was saying that they were really funny, and now I can't even think of them. But yes, I did hear.
He said LeBron. He mentioned LeBron.
Yeah.
He mentioned Kobe.
Right.
Orlando was said. I don't know where Orlando came from.
Another one that he said, though, and I can't think of it, was very far to the, just out of left field or whatever. It had nothing to do with any sport.
Some really great audio last night because when he was under center, you get and you can see he was going to go hard count, so he kept telling the center, easy.
I was going hard count tonight, last night too. I'll tell you that. But
it was one of those lights, huh?
All right. Well, this is where we wrap up the show. I think we talked a little too much about the origins of First Take and getting it up and stuff like that,
and hard counts under center.
Yeah. But
hey, come on, though. That was interesting, though. That First Take's.
No, it was. Yeah, I honestly would never have known Cold Pizza was the original. I would not have known. All right, guys. Well, look, thank you for joining in, James. Starspeed earlier, even Jacob. I appreciate the comment. I appreciate the views. Again, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, but most of you are. But if you're not, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're going to come on. Generally, every Monday morning. Sometimes we do a pop-up, just generalized sports show on a Friday night. And that's it. And then you keep what's the word I'm looking for? You will be notified each time I am about to do a show, whether it's sports or anything else of that nature on my channel. But thanks again for coming on. What?
No sippy today.
No, I know. And I even commented on one of his on his last video that I watched yesterday. I told him, "Oh, dude, we're going to be talking about the Chiefs tomorrow at 11."
Yeah, well, he actually did a Chiefs review,
I know
4-minute Chiefs review last night.
Yeah, I know, with his son. I'm pretty sure that's his son. That's the one I commented on. I watched it.
Maybe he's a little too hungover from the victory.
Yeah, maybe he had a little too much of that victory soup, So we'll see. But again, thanks again for coming on, Mike. I appreciate it. I look forward to our next week's show on Monday. So until then, have a nice day, guys.
And a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, guys, yes. Mike, very good. Very, very good. Guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoy your turkeys.
Be safe.
Have a great holiday weekend, and we will see you again Monday morning at 11 a.m. next week. So, enjoy.